So, do you listen to a lot of podcasts on Spotify and you want to get your podcast onto Spotify? But how do you do it? Don't worry, I'm going to help you in this next video. Hey, it's Jennifer Lee, and I have been a broadcaster for over 10 years. My most recent broadcast job was traffic helicopter reporter, where I flew through the skies of Vancouver reporting on traffic. In the last few years, I've gotten into podcasting, and I've been currently working with the Home Builders Association of Vancouver on their podcast, Measure Twice, Cut Once, with my lovely co-host, Michael Friedman. Of course, you can check out all these links down below. I will be posting them so you can check out the podcast. But let's get down to it. We are talking about how to get your podcast onto Spotify, which is so important because it's one of the biggest players and you need to know how to get it on there so people can listen to all your hard work. So what you need to do, of course, is create a Spotify account like this one. And just to note, if you need to find the actual place where you put your podcast, it's not like actual Spotify. You actually have to go to podcasters.spotify.com. And then it will pull up this window and it will say get started. So you get started. Now, I already have an account, but of course, if you don't, make one. And it's really easy. It's like anything. You just put in all your contact details and away you go. So it's going to bring you to a page that asks you for your RSS feed. And if you're looking at me like, what is she talking about? Well, don't worry. I did make a video on what is an RSS feed. Just go through my library and find that video, and that will fill you in. And also ask me questions below too if you want to know what an RSS feed is, or if I can help you submitting your podcast to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any of the podcast players. I would love to help you out. Okay, so once you have your RSS feed, what you're going to do is put the link right here in this box. Then you're going to hit verify. Spotify is going to let you know if you're good to go or not. It will let you know if your thumbnail is the wrong size. Again, we just had a video on thumbnails and how to create one in Canva. You can take a look at that video as well. And if it is the wrong size, you're just going to have to make it the appropriate one. And then if there's any other problems, like I said, Spotify will let you know. The great thing about Spotify's podcasting team, they have a help service, and I love it because they get back to you and they get back to you fairly fast. I put in my question the night before and the next morning I had an answer, and they walked me through the process. So what happened to me was my existing podcast, Coping 19, was on Spotify. Something happened to the link on my website and it broke, but Spotify helped me through that process of getting it back online because I was having troubles because every time I wanted to put in my RSS feed again into my Spotify podcast account, obviously my podcast kept popping up and being like, we're here already, even though the link was broken. So Spotify was able to walk me through that, and they were so helpful and lovely. I would definitely recommend getting your podcast on Spotify for that reason, because they made it a really easy process. And if you have any questions, they're able to answer them for you or help you through it. Like I said, I think it's probably one of the best help experiences I've had online because they were just so helpful. Not to sound corny, but they were, and they were very lovely. So shout out to the Spotify support team because they were great for podcasting. So the other thing I like about Spotify is when you do have it linked up, as soon as you enter into your account, they show your stats for your podcast. So how many times it's been started, how long people have been listening to it. And that is important information if you're going to move forward with your podcast, because you're going to know what type of topics your audience are really enjoying. And if there are certain ones that are ranking higher than other ones that you've done, that's probably the material that you're going to want to go with because it's obviously your gold material. So there you go. We'll talk more about podcast analytics down the road. But for now, all you need to do for me is subscribe, hit the button below, press the little bell for notifications, and like my video as well. Thank you for doing all that for me, and I will talk to you next time.